Hi, Josette. How are you?
Hi, Farron. I'm great. Thanks for joining us.
I'm really looking forward to this tour, and I want to know if you could take me back. Why did you start the tour?
There's a lot of reasons, but the bottom line is deep in my heart is the desire for racial equity for our city of St. Petersburg. Black employees make 73% of what white employees do in our city, or that the average lifespan in Black communities is 66.5 years versus 82 years for more affluent white communities. I knew I had to do something.
And this isn't a tour that people are going to say, all right, let's just go run a marathon after it, because you all deal with some gritty topics.
We do. It's very sobering to hear the actual truth about our Black history in St. Petersburg. And through it rise up a number of phenomenal people like Mr. Elder Jordan Sr. and Mr. Chester James, are real heroes in the Black community.
Well, you've piqued my interest a lot. I know people love this tour, so let's go ahead and go for it.
Okay.
All right.
Well, here we are, Farron, at Mercy Hospital, the first African-American hospital for residents here in the city of St. Petersburg. This was opened in 1923. It was staffed by nurses. 3 years later, the first doctor arrived. It had 20 beds, but it was never accredited. It never had a lab or needed facilities.
So how was it able to fulfill the medical needs of the Black community that surrounds it?
Well, you can imagine it probably didn't. It did the best that it could with the facilities that they had. The newspaper did a story on it. They called it two things: shocking and deplorable.
But in spite of that, I love that the community showed its resiliency.
Indeed it did.
You know, riding through downtown St. Pete, I never would have guessed what used to be here.
Yes, riding through the gas plant area where 800 middle and upper income families, Black families, used to live. And through eminent domain, their property was taken and they were moved without keeping any of the promises the city made for housing, for jobs. They were just moved off the land and had to find their own place to live.
Such a large geographical area, and then this specific spot has an even more haunting history.
It sure does. It was on this corner on November 12, 1914, that John Evans was lynched. And he was lynched because they accused him, while he was in jail, of killing a white man. And he was put up on the corner, and as they were hanging him, a white woman drove by and shot him, fatally shot him, and set off a 10-minute shooting spree of men, women, and children.
It's terrible.
Well, here we are.
All right, I love that we are visiting a church because faith is such a big part of Black history. When did this church first come to being?
Well, the first iteration of it was built in 1894, which is what brought Black laborers right to this exact area. The current church was built in 1922. The minister, Reverend Kenneth Irby, is quite a pillar in the community and also gives service to our police department.
Well, what I love so much is that we've seen so many things. Some are hard to grapple with, but knowledge truly is power, and I see that your tour, even what we've seen today, is just scratching the surface.
We go to 7 different locations, and each has its own commentary and provides a lot of vital information to really help our folks here understand what 25% of our population here in St. Petersburg have experienced as far as history.
All right, thank you so much, Josette.
You're very welcome. What a pleasure to be with you today.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you.